And then finally, our sponsor, In Kind, and that's going to be bringing this awesome conversation to us, is the Washington Informer and Denise. So thank you so much, Washington Informer. And with that, Keith got a couple words for you, and then we'll get people re-engaged with some activity.
Let the church say amen. No, but I know we've been getting a lot of knowledge today. One thing I want you to think about, well, three things I want you to think about. Number one, how to make more money with the knowledge that you're getting, right? How to make more money. Number two, how to make an impact with that money. And then number three, how to make a difference with that money. How to make more money, how to make an impact, and how to make a difference with that money. Those three things that you can take away from today and build on your journey to your second property, your third property. But as you're building this wealth, how are you going to make a difference? And with that being said, I want to introduce you. No, everybody stand up, stand up. We just got done eating. Stand up. Yeah. Let's do it. Everybody stretch. You ready, Beecher?
We'll go for the mantra. We ready one more time? My ownership. My ownership. My ownership. My ownership is. My ownership is. My ownership is.
Now bring up, come on, Denise. Thank you so much for coming. This is going to be an amazing panel. Big round of applause.
So, this is a real treat, only because I've heard people say, what's the Washington Informer? I love it, Omar, when people don't know what my newspaper is. So I'm going to say I'm Denise Rollard Barnes, publisher of the Washington Informer. We are a weekly African-American owned newspaper that has, I'm second generation publisher. We've been publishing in the Washington area for 57 years. We'll be 58 in October. And I got some copies out there for you, but anyway, I just thought in case you see this, please grab it because I cannot take these back to work. Secondly, I want to say that about 2 years ago, Omar, we got a grant from Google. We wanted to do a series of stories on keeping homes Black-owned in DC, focusing on Wards 7 and 8. And we were trying to figure out what was causing this gentrification all across the city and seeing what we could do story-wise that would prevent that kind of movement east of the river. And so we spent a whole year writing articles about things that were happening to families, the conversations that you all are having here today. And so as a result of that, that's how I met Harrison and some others. We did a show. We, did a story on them. We've done conversations on a little broadcast show that I have. And that's how we decided we wanted to help to participate in this program and to try to do what we could to promote it. And so if anybody, I know there are a couple of people said they saw this in the Informer, so I'm glad you did. But I am so proud of all of you all. My heart goes out to see what you all, this is amazing. And when I talked to Omar, who I have never met in person, so this is my first time meeting him, but we talked, we wanted to have some developers to come who could really talk about their journey. And one of my good friends I reached out to was Michelle Hagans. And I don't know if you all know Michelle, but you know Fort Lincoln, Newtown, right? You all know about Fort Lincoln? Her dad started that development, and she manages it now. Her dad used to own the airports, own the parking lots at Dulles Airport. He was a big developer in this town when I was a kid, and she's carrying on that journey. So I wanted her to come, and she couldn't be here, but she said, you need to call Omar. He's the one. So I did, and so glad that he was available to be here with us today. And one of the things he said to me when I was telling him what this program is about, he said, are these Black folks? And I said, yes, they are. He said, all right, I'm there. And if you don't mind, Omar, I didn't write it all down, but Omar Karim is the president of Banneker Properties. Anybody heard of Banneker Properties? Yes, all right. Well, you're gonna hear a lot today. With the other part, anybody a graduate from HU, Howard? All right, 2-time Howard grad, law school and undergrad as well, engineering. And he was one of the, I think, youngest, or first, was it Board of Trustees at Howard University? A member of the Board of Trustees? Probably when they were doing all that demonstrating, he was the one that was doing all that. So anyway, I'm not going to spend a lot of time because I think what we want to do is to hear about Omar's journey, Banneker Properties. He just broke some news with me today, which is amazing. And so when we travel through the city and to see where you are today and what the possibilities are through his story means that the sky is the limit. And all this stuff, I don't want to call it stuff, all this great information we've been receiving today really is how we get from here to there. So welcome, Omar.
Thank you, Denise.
So tell us, let's start with who you are. I mean, we have folks in the room who are first-time home owners. They see a vision. They understand the power of ownership. Where did that come as far as, your story?
So thank you, Denise. Just as some background, I came to DC in '91 after graduating from high school, and I did engineering and law school here. My siblings were here, and DC opened her doors to me, and I love the district so much, and I'm super grateful for everything that this city has done for me and our family and our foundation. And I was telling somebody, I was at the announcement earlier this week where Amazon announced a couple of $100 million worth of investments with some Black developers and nonprofits. And I was telling the deputy mayor and some other folks that no place in the country can you have the opportunity that you have in the district. You're just not, right? And there's a reason for that, and I'll talk a little bit about that. I didn't know people that owned homes and multifamily and all of those things. And my parents died. My mom died when I was 12 and my dad when I was in law school. So I really didn't have the opportunity to ask them about different things, including creating wealth. And so when I was practicing law in New York, I was working for a huge New York law firm and renting. And my buddies were here in '99 and they were buying 4-unit buildings. And I was like, what is that? And how do you do that? And all of them were going through the NACA program, NACA. If anybody knows about the NACA program, it's still going on today. And no money down. I was like, what are you talking about? I could give me a place, no money down, I'm paying this rent in New York. So I went around in New York. I said, I'm as smart as my friends. And so I started going through New York. First, I went through Harlem and I walked probably 40 blocks from like 100th Street, river to river, all the way up to like 140th. And I'm writing down all these addresses, and I found a couple of dozen, and I called some people, and I wound up buying a brownstone on 123rd in Lenox, so a block and a half from the Starbucks there, 142 West 123rd, and I renovated it. My GC walked out on me, and like it was just the worst situation in where I have no money, nobody to go to, anything. And then, when I bought that, I was like, well, I could go buy another one. And so I wrote some goals down. I was like, look, in 2002, I'm going to buy 2 brownstones. So I bought that one in September. And then literally I was reading the newspaper. People read the papers back then. And it was like a house for sale in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn at 269 Lewis Avenue. And it was a VA loan right on it. And you can go in there. And I went in. It was freezing. It was like December the 1st, and I left my law firm. I left the apartment, went there at like 7 in the morning. I saw this place. They didn't have electricity, I don't think. And I'm looking around, and they were like, yeah, you can have it. And you don't need a loan. You could just assume the loan. I was like, word? Like, great. All right. So I literally assumed a VA loan. I didn't fight for the U.S. military, right? But you could just assume the loan. And I was going out to a black tie affair on the 31st of December 2002. I had my goals on my little apartment. It was like a studio. Anybody been in New York? These apartments are super small. And I looked at them. I looked at the bottom. It was like closed on 2 properties by December 31st. And I just closed like the day before. And I was like, wow, right? It's amazing when you write down your goals. So I want to just encourage, and you don't know how you're going to do this stuff or whatever, right? But write down goals. And it's better to write down bigger goals than small goals. Like, why not, right? Like, whatever you all think, just think bigger, and you can do anything you want. When I came here, I was like, amazing. On a Saturday at 1:30, all these beautiful black people are here. Like, and I don't know anybody in the room. I'm like, where have I been, right? Like, I feel terrible. Like, not a single person. I thought I knew people in D.C. And so all my boys bought 4 units, $100,000. Now they're worth $1 million or whatever, right? And all across the district, and they're doing different things. And so now, fortunately for me, I came back to the district. I heard about this woman in Essence Magazine. Her name is Pamela Bundy. She started Bundy Development Corporation, and I called out of the blue. I said, Ms. Bundy, I'm a lawyer. I'm up in New York. I'm doing a little real estate. I would like to come work for you or whatever, right? So she told me, she said, let me think about it. I said, I'll be your general counsel, right? Because I was a lawyer, and I know a little real estate, and I could do all of that, and I'll do it for free. She said, well, let me think about it. I'll call you back. She called me back later that day. She said, I thought about it, and the answer is no. I said, can I do it 3 days a week, right? Because I wanted to do my stuff on the side and do her stuff 3 days a week. She said, no. I said, no, golly, all right. So I moved to D.C. anyway, and then I started going to events, and she was there. I was like, Miss Bundy, I'm that guy who wanted to come work for you or whatever. So she called me one day, and she said, come see me. I went and saw her, and she offered me $400 a week to work for her. Granted, I was her lawyer. I was making like $6,000 as a lawyer a week, right? And now I'm working for $400 a week. Best decision I ever could have made. I recommend everybody go do that, right? Especially if you're young, don't have a lot of bills. Even if you got a lot of bills, try to figure it out. You cannot, the value, y'all laughing, I'm serious or whatever. You cannot, if you could get in, and if you could get put on, this woman put me on. Said, Omar, you come in and you run my shop. She didn't say, it was only like 4 of us or 5 of us, but I got to run her shop. I did deals in Columbia. I did the first ground up multifamily in Chinatown. I never did a multifamily, didn't know what a crane was, didn't know what concrete. She let me do that. The City Center, City Vista, the Icon on 13th Street. I did all of those projects, met everybody, like publicly traded companies, and it was like dope, super dope. And she was paying me $400 a week. It cost me more at the Metro than to get to her office. Best decision. I would have stayed there forever. I would have been 90 years old at her shop. Nevertheless, had an entrepreneur bit. I'm not going to say she wasn't so kind, but I decided to leave or whatever, right? I started our shop 17 years ago, and it's been an amazing up and down journey. We're fully, full service real estate firm. We do real estate development. We do general contracting. We do construction management. We do facilities management around the region. At one point, we were working in 11 states. We were 8A certified for a while, similar to the speaker who should have been here, and I could have been on your side or whatever. Her parents, had an 8A certified firm. And, yesterday we closed on a 72 unit on 16th Street Northwest, like about 10 minutes from here. Thank you. Zero, I think I got $10,000 in that deal. Like $20 million acquisition, 20.77 million technically. Super dope, 95% loan to value with the bank, right? That was dope. Like, it's cheaper to buy a 70 unit than it is. And we're gonna tear it down and do 294 units next year, right? And our partner is the Tenant Association, these wonderful, beautiful folks who look just like you in this room, 72 families. We got they speak all these different type of languages. They believed in a poor kid from Memphis and gave us a shot, and we partnered with them, and they have 20% ownership in this thing. And the bank is the largest black bank in the country, City First Bank. They approved the largest loan in their history last Friday to give to me to go buy this project with them. It is going to be amazing. We are going to create some wealth for this family. And then we do stuff all over. We have 1,700 units right now that's either in construction or will be in construction. 10 acres, 9.6 acres at the Largo Metro that we're doing. It's 800 units and 70,000 square feet of retail. We have 180 at the Congress Heights Metro that we should be breaking ground on about 18 months. We have 81 units under construction in Anacostia. We just finished a 34 unit in Columbia Heights, 18 unit across from the up at Georgia and Aspen. And that's it. And you all, and look, and you all could do much more. Like in the district allowed us to be able to help us leverage some of this because in my opinion, right? Somebody was asking why all these black developers at this Amazon thing. In my opinion, is because Adrian Fenty and Adrian gave people an opportunity to not be a piece of a deal, right? Like black people been in the district for a long time. They have 5%. They all live up in the Ward 4. Like, and I got issues or whatever, right? With people taking a black piece or whatever, right? And when he came in, he said, no, you can drive, right? You could be the owner. You can have 20, 40, 50, 100% of deals. And we did that. And now his protege, who's a boss, right? Mayor Bowser, she said, no, you don't have to do a 50 unit deal, 100 unit. You can have 1,200 units, right? All black deals, right? On Hill East, 1,200 units Scotty is doing or whatever, right? People doing hotels and they're doing 200 units. You go to Chicago, that's not done. LA is not done. San Francisco, New York, Miami, nowhere around the country. This equitable development stuff that's going on around the country, having leadership who believe in you, like creating wealth. And I'm telling you, this is it or whatever. Wealth creation. That's why we got to support people who understand wealth creation and who understand, who not afraid to say, I'm going to give a poor kid from Memphis an opportunity. If she didn't get that to me, we wouldn't have closed yesterday, right? People giving us money. I had a guy call me yesterday, right? I'm like, look, you need to give me a $5 million line of credit or whatever for this, that, and the third. He said, man, like, you really like asking? I said, yeah. I said, yup. And he said, I'm going on vacation. I said, well, you better buy in because when you get back, somebody else is going to give it to me. He was like, all right, I'm going away, but just send me your REO schedule. I said, all right. So I sent it to him last night. I'm like, look, you tripping. A white boy from New York or whatever with one of these funds that got all of this Apple money and Google money and all of those things or whatever, right? But what he said, this is a good time to be black. That's what he said. He's a white boy. I said, look, 400 years of slavery, like, chump, right? Like, but for real, like, this is a good time. Don't blow it. Don't be going home playing no video games or whatever, right? Like, go get this because of what, the murders that's been happening in the last couple of years, in the last 400 years, but particularly the last couple of years or whatever, right? People feel some type of way. So go get their money or whatever, right? And go leverage it and go partner with somebody. And if you don't know, like, for real, like 1% of a deal is better than 100% of nothing. And 20% of a deal is better than, like, 0% of something. So that's what, and go support the Washington Informers of the world and go support, like I heard the brother saying earlier today, kind of what it is that we should be doing. So on all of our deals, we are putting black folks on. Like, I got 193 unit at the Addison Road Metro. God willing, we'll be breaking ground in the spring. 193 in Capitol Heights. Anybody been over there? We about to turn Capitol Heights around. Y'all better go by. I gave a $55.6 million contract to Scotty, right? From the block, from D.C. This young brother from D.C., right? Now he 55 million, and he's a developer. He's like, thanks a lot, because he's doing $1 billion worth of deals or whatever, right? So just saying that you can, but you got to be intentional, right? While we're spending this money, everybody else is intentional. So it's difficult. It is difficult to go put your people on because we don't, a lot of times have, all of this history or whatever, right? But it's the right thing to do. People put us on, the mayor put us on, and the deputy mayors in the city put all of these beautiful, we have more black developers in D.C. than anywhere around the country. More than Atlanta, more than New York, more than Chicago, more than L.A. They call us, please come to our town. I'm like, why would we do that? Like, we will do it like one day or whatever, but that's it. And we're a small shop. We're always recruiting for development managers and development associates. If you all know anybody who who want to get it in and work hard, we work really, 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 really hard, right? But we're creating wealth for our staff. We have about 30 people. We've been on a BE 100 the last couple of years, one of the largest black companies in America. And we're unapologetic or whatever, right? And we got to save our people. We got to create affordable housing and workforce housing and retail and put people on. And y'all are much younger than me. I was gonna like color my gray beard. I said I'm not gonna do it. But y'all like way younger, so y'all could do 1,000-unit deals. You could create communities, like whole communities. That's what I want you to think. Even though you just bought a single family probably or a 4-unit, right? When I bought that 4-unit in on 123rd in Harlem, what I thought, I was like, how can I buy the block? That was just next thing. I was like, yeah, I could just buy the block. I ain't know nobody. I ain't had no finance. That's why I didn't buy the block. But if I knew some people, right? If I knew some people coming back to DC, I could partner with all of these wonderful developers that's in my age group, and we're working on big, big deals, and we got pieces of deals and everything like that. And I'm telling y'all, like y'all gonna kill it. Y'all here on a Saturday, I just want y'all to dream more. Okay, and go. If you don't know anything, go ask somebody, can you do what I did or whatever, right? It would be the best decision you've ever made. Like, real estate is a get-rich-slow business. This is true. It ain't a get-rich-quick business. But you will be paid, right? They'll name buildings. Like, when we first spoke about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, right? She did know this or whatever, right? We are naming a $80 million project after her stepmother. Yeah. And I didn't even know Denise. But when we got awarded this project by the city last year, we said, who could we name this project in the middle of the district at, right? And we said we're going to name it after Wilhelmina Rolark, who was the first councilwoman for Ward 8, and she came up with the CBE program that a lot of us benefited from. And that's what we got to do as well. We got to name our properties after our people, okay? Like people be naming the Smith and all of these things. Or they name properties after our people, and none of our people live in that. That's a whole nother thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Omar Karim. No, Banneker Properties, and I don't know if you're all as excited as I am, but I just am. I'm in awe. You know, I've heard the name, I've seen the brand, I know about projects that he's been involved with, but never met him. And I hope you all are as excited as I am. I thought I was going to have to ask him some questions, but I don't think I need to. I did want to ask where he's from, but he kept talking about a guy from Memphis. So we know he's from Memphis, Tennessee. Any Memphis folks in the house? Okay, all right. So we know he's from Memphis, Tennessee, and he came here to go to Howard. Left and then came back. So I'm going to open it up to you all. Anybody have any questions? Yes, right here. So he's saying from zero oh. Yeah, I was just go. Where do we go from zero knowledge, zero experience to the next step? Where do we go next?
And the step after that.
That's
a very good question. I mean, buying a house, if you own a property, so you're not at zero. You found a place, right? You got financing, right? You got some inspections. You closed on it. You occupy it or you lease it, right? That's the process for this whole thing, right? And so you're in a good place, right? If you want to do development and say, hey, look, let me go do a 4-unit, then you go look for a 4-unit, right? The only difference is the type of financing. That's really, look, I did a no money down yesterday. Like, for real, I thought I was going to get cash back. I was kind of mad that I was about to get some cash back, and then the transfer taxes was high. I was like, oh, my God. That would have been a story, right? Like, you get some cash back. But you can do that, for real. Like, so seriously, just be bold and say, look, I'm going to do that. Like, WMATA put a deal out in 2007 at 9th and U Street, 9th and Florida Avenue. There's a multifamily building that's right there. I won that property. In 2007, I was 15 years ago, I was 33 years old, right? It was a $50 million development. I said, look, I'm going to just go bid on it, right? Just everybody. All these big developers bid on it as well. I get a phone call at my office. They said, Mr. Karim, how you doing? They was like, yep. I'm Roz Doggett from Wamada's Real Estate. Hey, Roz, how you doing? She said, yeah, Wamada want to come meet with you. It's just that one thing. Nobody know who you are. Right? I was like, okay, what day you want to meet? So we went down there and we got awarded it, and they took our project because this terrible guy who was the chair of the board, Jim Graham, who was a council member, wanted to give our deal to somebody else. And they wound up taking it from us. I sued Metro for $100 million, right? And after a number of years, they wrote me a 7-figure check. Thankfully, right, because of the terrible stuff that guy did. Nevertheless, I was 33, and I was just like, look, we just going to do it, right? and they took it. They did take that deal from us, and JBG wound up getting it and owning it and selling it or whatever, right? But, like, I was your age, so you can do that. I had never done a ground-up deal before. I just went and worked for Pamela Bundy, and then I saw how you can do large deals, and I was like, all right, well, that's how you can do it. Or I went to Pam Bundy's shop, and that's where I recommend people go get their chops. And if you can go to a small shop that's a 3, 4, 5 person, you could do a lot more. And there's a lot of these shops around here that's 2, 3, 4, 5. You're not going to be making $300,000 a year or $200,000 a year, but in 10 years you'll be a multimillionaire, right? And in 20 years you'll be a decamillionaire, right? But you have to go and learn, and that's what you want to do. Or you could go to City First Bank, right? They gave me 95%. Loan to value, right? Amalgamated Bank has some really good terms. And then all of these CDFIs, Community Development Financial Institutions, they'll give you the rest. So we got a nonprofit to put the 5% in. We had City First to give us 95%, and that was it. Some places like Capital Impact Partners, they'll give you 125%. So you find a property around here, they'll give you 125% loan to value. Finally, there's a number of different training programs around here. Amazon got like a Black developer cohort. Capital Impact Partners has a Black developer cohort. There's a number of other places have these cohorts. But you could go get a degree from Johns Hopkins Real Estate Program, University of Maryland, all of these programs, and they cool, right? But you go spend a month with a Bua, a month with a Scotty, a month with Bowman Kitty, or a month with myself, or a number of other people, or 6 months. That's way better than degrees. I mean, we hire these people with these degrees, and I tell them all the time, I said, look, I know a day with me is way better than your real estate masters. And you don't have a loan with me, right? You got $150,000 from Hopkins or whatever, right? That's what they also say that this is I forget what the term is, real estate particularly. It is like a mentor, mentee type thing. Unlike IT, where you could just go get an engineering degree and go in your cubicle and do that. The game is learned through trial and error and being next to the person that know the game. Okay? So yesterday, our deal almost didn't close. I tell y'all this, right? We normally close deals around 12 o'clock so that there won't be no drama getting up to 5 o'clock closing time, right? Fridays, prayer day for me. I'm going to prayer. I'm going to Juma. Like, I don't care what's happening or whatever. I'm gone. I could go out at 1 or 2 o'clock. We hadn't closed by 1 o'clock, 1:30. I said, look, I'm out. I'm going to wire my money. I wired my money, right? And I'm expecting when I get back that the deal is closed. I get back, it's 3:15. The deal ain't closed. I'm calling my lawyer. And he's like, we rolling as fast as we can. And this is a white boy who I normally wouldn't hire or whatever, right? But nevertheless, he said, we rolling as fast as we can. I said, you should have been at the damn shore, right? Like, it's 3:15. It ain't, right? And I called a bank. I'm going off on her. My banker called me. Did you just go off on my people, right? And I said, no, I didn't mean to. She said, can you call and apologize or email her? And I did. I felt bad. But you got to push. You can't be nice in our business. But the boss move, and y'all will send me some flowers for this, right? Because this is game. I'm putting y'all on. You can't learn this in the book, though, right? I called a banker later. We closed at 5 o'clock yesterday. You don't close a bank loan at 5. You just don't, because the wire room closes, all of that stuff, right? It's real serious, right? I called and talked to, like, the senior vice president. I'm thanking her. I called and thank everybody. It's like 6:30 on the way home. She said, you know what? I was talking to the president when y'all called me or whatever, because I called her like, look, what's up? She said, look, we got an LA office. It's only 12 o'clock in LA. The wire room's still open. I said, that was a boss move. So she called their LA branch, right? This black bank called the LA branch and they wired the money and we closed at 5, right? But the point being is that you can't get that at Hopkins program, right? These academic professors, they don't know nothing. That's why they teaching or whatever, right? The people that know stuff are sitting here and they own some buildings. I'm sorry, Denise.
That's all right.
Look, y'all don't forget that. Y'all gonna give me 1% of y'all deal in the future or whatever. That's a boss move, right? You saved 3 hours. You just beat time, y'all. Like the lady was like, we closed, right? This preacher told me one time I was going to Africa as an undergrad. His name was Reverend Leon Sullivan. And he telling the story. This guy's a giant. I'm Muslim. I'm not even Christian. But this man, he stood like 10 feet tall and he's on a plane and he's telling a story about Hannibal. And Hannibal had all these elephants. I'm going to mess the story up or whatever. And they tried to get over the Alps. And they had to take all of these elephants and other stuff over the Alps. And they said, Hannibal, how are you going to do that? Reverend Sullivan is telling this story. And Hannibal replied back that I see no Alps. So you all have to not see any Alps. Like that deal was going to close yesterday. And it closed yesterday. We did a 4% deal last year, $46 million in Anacostia. And I pushed some people. They probably don't like me to this day. And I'll finish it. I didn't know how much this See No Alps thing meant, but we had this groundbreaking ceremony. It was all of these people, the media and everything, and the deputy mayor's office. All these folks came. And to the person, every person got up there, grabbed the mic, and they thanked everybody that lent it. They said, when you do a deal with Banneker or whatever, right, they going to get it done no matter what. So you all have to have that. It's going to be some difficult days ahead. Like, look, we found out something Thursday. They said we needed a sign-off by a government agency. And in the document, it says they need 10 days to review. 10 days. This is Thursday. We got to close Friday. And I had to call the CEO, and I was like, look, we need that back today, right? By tomorrow, 11 o'clock. And he started making some excuses. He said, he called his other guy, his VP who works for him, and the guy started making some excuses. I said, the only thing they need to be working on, I don't even know these people. I said, it's my deal and getting this thing due. And we close. This is the point, right? Like, you might be called an a-hole sometimes, like trying to close your deal or whatever, right? But you create wealth. We just changed the lives of 70 families who look like us, who they went from the hospital, okay? Urban Village Apartments, they went from the hospital to this apartment and been renters their whole lives. And now, as of yesterday, they own because they saw no Alps. And that's what you all have to do.
And we've got 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes, Omar. Okay. So let's try to get as many questions.
You can create.
We want to.
Yeah, just like what we did yesterday. Like we get I was interviewing a guy yesterday.
We just wanted. They didn't hear the
Okay.
question over there. So the question was, are we concerned about? Tell me this first part. Affordable housing and not displacing people, but we're also trying to build our businesses.
There are publicly traded companies that own tens and tens of thousands of units of affordable housing. Affordable housing is like a big time business. Like the mayor put $1 billion into affordable housing. Like it is a massive business. You get a big development fee, right? It's general contracting fees, construction management fees, property management fees, asset management fees. It is a huge business. We're just not in it. We're not in anything with respect to real estate. We're not in anything. We're not in affordable housing. We're in a market force. We're not in retail. We're not in office. We're not industrial. You can do it, right? You can just just do what I asked you to do. Right?
Right here in the green.
And we do, half our deals are affordable. The deal on 16th Street, all affordable. All affordable. We're making so much money, I ain't gonna say it should be illegal, right? But it's ridiculous or whatever, right? Like it is, but it It is something that you all can do. And all these people look like you all. Every person in here could go to Columbia Heights. They have 150 buildings in Columbia Heights, just like the one we closed. And y'all could go do a deal with each one of the tenant associations because they'll trust you when you go up in there because you look like their kid. And then you'll be a decamillionaire, and you'll be a decamillionaire, and you'll be a decamillionaire. And then you could go hire a black property management company and the insurance company and the security company and the landscape company and all of that.
Wait, Omar, I think at the core of her question is that the product at the end, which is an affordable housing unit, there's still a whole business behind it that gets paid at market rate or better.
Absolutely.
My conscience was, of course I want to make a profit. I want to be able to cover my mortgage. I want to be able to have some additional take home. But I also don't want to burden the single mom with 2 boys that live in the home with a rent that is significantly higher and doesn't make sense for the area and doesn't position.
Very good question. There are so many resources, particularly in the District of Columbia, right? People can get vouchers, right? They got subsidies. The district has more things. One unit is not going to change the pendulum, okay? It's not going to change the affordable housing crisis. The District of Columbia Housing Authority has 44,000 people on their wait list to get a voucher. It is a crisis, right? One unit is not going to be able to do it. But if you have a lot of units. Like we have a 72-unit property that now we're going to create 294 units. We're going to scrape it into, we're going to create wealth with that. And that's what I want you to like see through the walls is what we tell people. Like don't be stuck. And the way you aren't stuck is everybody in here need to be a member of AREP, African American Real Estate Professionals of DC. This organization will put people on game. I'm on the board. So brilliant people on the board. We have a big gala coming up later this month. If you can go to that, you want to go because everybody who's black and doing development is there. Y'all want AREP DC, African American Real Estate Professionals of DC. That's a nice starting point. And there's women in construction and development in DC. There's a number of different, y'all got to get plugged in. I'm telling you. Like, okay, who else? Somebody.
So we're gonna do the green
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
we'll come back
Okay,
over here.
all right.
Right here, real quick.
So, like, I'm trying to get plugged in, right? But, so, in regards to that, so if we're starting from ground zero, let's say, for instance, you know how you want to, I want to say dabble in something, but you don't want to be fully immersed in something. And so, in certain instances, do you all offer a way for, like, crowdfunding or where we can invest?
Some people have things like that. A number of developers in town, black-owned developers, have like small funds or other things. The lady who's our director of development, she's a part owner of a hotel, and that's how I met her. Young, 30-something-year-old, bad, and somebody gave her an opportunity. She bad. She is like super like. When I tell you the sister talented, just went to Howard or whatever, right? But somebody gave her a piece. Somebody gave her a piece of a deal, and she crowdfunded and got some friends and family. And I met her literally at her ribbon cutting. And now she runs our deal. She ran that closing yesterday, right? So, okay. But look, Brandon is a beast, right? Brandon part of our crew, right? Brandon like is a young, I'm a little older than Brandon now. Yeah. Earn Your Leisure is like super dope. Those brothers are killing it. Brandon is killing it over in Ohio, I think it is, or whatever, right? And he's doing some stuff in DC, right? You could, I'm telling you, I would go join AREP, right? Go check out Capital Impact. Amazon got a thing. Go try to get a job with Brandon or one of us or whatever, right? And get on. I'm telling you, that's all. It ain't rocket science. You ain't got to go to College Park Real Estate Program or Hopkins. It's cool, right? Learn how to model. If everybody can learn how to model with Excel or whatever, right? Then you can bring some skills. Excel, like become a master in Excel, right? If you don't do that, you're not going to make no money. I'm telling you, right? Learn how to do Excel if you're going to be in development. And Brandon, one of the smartest people, and he's at all of the places I'm at, and he's not even here. No, I mean, I'm saying he's young. He got 1,000 units. I mean, thousands of units. He got grocery stores. The boy is a beast or whatever, right? And there's people like that around, and you all can do it. In 10 years, you will be there. You just have to see yourself, and somebody got to put you on. This is a put you on business, but it ain't a part-time, let me be a social influencer and let me go be a developer. That ain't gonna happen. Whatever, right? Because we working, like I closed that deal, I was exhausted. But then I had this other thing and like, yeah. Okay.
Can we take one more? Okay, we have one in the back over there. Yes.
That's a very good question. What's the best advice you ever got? Yeah, that's a good.
Besides the Hannibal and the elephants. Yes, the Alps.
I think the best decision I ever made was to go work for Pam Bundy for free. Like that did this for me. The best advice was to invest in Adrian Fenty for real. Yeah, like you have to have friends, and I mean in terms of like being in the city and understanding what you should do, like for people and not make it about you and understand the politics and behind this stuff or whatever. And people gonna come after you, right? They're gonna come after you when you're making money or whatever, right? They come after, particularly you black and you got $1 billion worth of, like they don't like that. They don't like none of these things happening. They don't like y'all being here right now on a Saturday afternoon or whatever, right? But I think going to work for somebody for free for $400, it wasn't free. She paid me $400 a week, right? For like 2 years was the best thing I ever did. Getting involved politically and investing in anything. And being one of the things that I would call it, because I've had like 2 careers in real estate so far, I'm on my second run, is to really, really, really put people down in these communities. So when we go to a zoning commission meeting, I have 100 people from the community who wearing a t-shirt that say, we support whatever it is that Omar is there for. And that right there will change the game because people say, oh, my God, right? Like, we went in there, and when we go in these meetings, we don't let no chairs be open for nobody else, right? So we'll just pack the room an hour before. And whoever got to vote on your stuff, they're going to vote on your stuff because they scared of you, right? And so, but because you done the work, you knocked on the doors, you talked to Mrs. Johnson and Mr. Jackson and, you know, Mr. Muhammad and Mrs. whatever, right? And you asked them, could they support your stuff? And that's where we went in. We just gave out 1,600 backpacks and school supplies a couple of weeks ago. Like, I'm giving away more than jurisdictions giving away, right? We gave away 30, 40,000 worth of bikes last year, right? Though we gave away hundreds and thousands of turkeys every year. And like giving back to the community. And I know my staff think I'm crazy or whatever, because I spent like $1.5 million on this stuff in the last 10 years. Like $1.5 million, right? That's a lot of money. But you're reinvesting in your community. And so you got to do, and stay true to yourself. Don't ever sell your people out. Don't ever retrade anybody, right? In our business, people they get to the closing and they retrade and they're shady. Don't be shady, my God. Like, y'all the next generation. Be better than our generation, okay? And you will be better and do better and be way more fabulous than some old heads.
Speaking of, one of the things that I mean, native Washingtonian, born DC Public Schools. I mean, been here my entire life, and don't cut the lights out on me yet. I know we're getting ready to run out of time, but and he talks about Adrian Fenty. I mean, I have to go back to the Marion Barry days, you know, because he made a lot of millionaires. That's why we have Prince George's County, because he provided opportunities. People got contracts. They could opportunities, and then they moved out of the city. But at any rate, you know, I've seen this happen. I know that it's true. I think one of the things he said as a newspaper publisher who focuses on the Black community, you know, and he's talking about politics, That's essential. You got to know who's making the rules and follow them. You know, of course, our newspaper is one way to do that. But whatever your resource is, you know, you got to stay focused on what is happening, what legislation's coming down the road, what particularly what legislation's coming down the road, and who is in those positions that you need to know that you can help, that can also help you. So it's a lot of networking that I hear in your message as well.
Draft it. Like these other people, they be drafting legislation. My wife be complaining all the time, we don't have this, we don't have that. I say, well, why don't you change this stuff or whatever, right? Like the governor-elect coming over my house next Saturday, right? And the county executive was over there a few weeks ago, and the CEO of the school system was over there a couple of weeks ago. You can just change whatever it is you want. And Kamala was over at the crib when she was running for president, right? So do whatever you want. Like, literally, you don't even have to wait for some 13 members of the council. They don't know nothing or whatever, right? Y'all know better than all of them. You say, this should be the legislation. This is what the lobbyists do. This is what the people who live up in Ward 3, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, do or whatever, right? They say the such and such should get the money. And the such and such, da-da-da, or whatever, right? So we do that now. Like, and it feels pretty good or whatever. They're going to catch up and find out, like, really soon or whatever, right? So y'all got to, like, help us out or whatever, right? So it's so important. Don't be a side, like, don't be like that or whatever, right? Like, be engaged, be active, get the vote, support these people. Like, Mayor Bowles, I'm telling you, people be sleeping or whatever. It wouldn't be none of us without these people believed in us or whatever, right? Like, none of it. We own buildings. Big old buildings. Community. Like, you ain't doing it. And Prince George's County, with all due respect, right? And I love the county. I'm about to go on the planning board, right, in a couple weeks quietly, right? And they ain't got none of what we have going on, like, in the district. I'm telling you, like, we trying to improve. I live in the county. We trying to improve the county, all of that. Ain't got nothing. The district has done it. If y'all own properties in the district, y'all got a boss mayor and boss city and some really amazing council members, but y'all can go and do it and get hooked up, and don't take no wooden nickels, and don't let the rest of the city get gentrified. You can do it, and you got to stay up and think through this stuff, whatever. Man, if our ancestors could survive slavery and the Middle Passage and all of this stuff, you ain't got nothing to complain about. Y'all getting loans and settlement statements, and y'all got Wi-Fi, and it feel good in here. Y'all get food and stuff like that. I'm serious. Like, we have nothing to complain about. Y'all got to be working harder. Okay? Y'all got to be working hard, and then you can have what we got or whatever, right? You can have, I live in an estate community. I drive a $90,000 Tesla, right? And, like, we have thousands of units, and it's cool, right? Y'all could do more, though, and y'all should do more. But y'all got to work hard. Anybody who play video games, you should throw them away. Anybody who's doing all of this stuff, we ain't got time for this stuff. If you spend a small, like 10 years, I'm telling you, you ain't going to get in 1 year, 2 years. This stuff going to pop like in a 10-year pop. And you could be like, God, that guy who came on that Saturday, I'm glad I came to that thing or whatever, right? That's what y'all got. Y'all got to support black institutions like the Informer. Y'all got to read this stuff. Y'all got to be part of this stuff and circulate this money with people who look like y'all. I'm telling you.
And Omar, did I hear you say earlier, he was at a birthday party with his, was it 4 children you have?
Yes, I went with one.
He's a dad of 4.
Yeah.
But still rolling. You know what I'm saying? So building family, building community.
And my daughter owns stuff. Like, I have LLCs. They own part of these deals or whatever, right? We created LLCs and trusts and all of that stuff. They own this stuff, and so they go visit their properties or whatever. And they say, how's my property doing or whatever, right? We bought a place on Bennett Place Northeast. It was a crack house. I got raided multiple times. Like, it was crazy. They said they're going to come take my crib. I was like, this is crazy or whatever, right? But it's going to pay for her medical school, my eldest or whatever, right? It's going to pay for hers. It's going to pay for the engineering school for the son or whatever, all of those things or whatever, right? So, yes, y'all got it. And y'all can do this. Don't think that you can't. Man, you can go from a 1 unit to, I never even had a 1 unit. I went right to a 4 unit, right? Y'all could go from 40 unit. Brandon is buying grocery stores. He owned the whole grocery store. Like, my God, like he 30 a kid. Like, the boy owned a grocery. Anybody know anybody that owned a grocery store? Like next thing you know, I watch Earn Your Legion and the boy on Earn Your Legion. I'm like, dang, I was just with him in some valley or whatever, right? The boy, like, this is dope. But he dreams, and that's what it is, right? Denise's parents dreamed, and therefore she's a publisher of a newspaper, whatever. Y'all can dream. That's the thing that we gotta do. Don't let nobody tell you can't do that. Right? Don't let your children be tricked when they go to these schools, whether they're bullets like mine are or sit well like my nephew. Like, these people be trying to trick our kids. I come home every day, I slap them a couple of times. I say, no, whatever they teach you don't believe it or whatever, right? Believe in yourselves. I'm telling you, believe in yourselves and be excellent at what you do and push people. There's so many resources out here right now at this day and time. Look, you got a black vice president, my God, who went to Howard, who plays, and who loved the Noops or whatever, right? She was like, oh, she said, I would just tell you, that's all right, young man. I said, look, she told me, she said, right, I was like, when she was running, I was like, Senator, how you doing, da-da-da. I was like, yeah, I heard you were a sweetheart at Howard. She was like, yeah, I was, right? But you can do that, right? You can straight up have a conversation with the Vice President of the United States or whatever, right? On some real stuff and get some real stuff done.
That's right. Give it up. Give it up for Omar. Give it up for Denise. Give it up for Washington Informer. Oh, man. Denise, did you have any closing statements? How can they find you? What can they know about Washington Informer?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about all that. So, again, I have some papers out there. Make sure you grab them. I see some of our neighbors are here. I'm on Martin Luther King Avenue in Southeast D.C., 3117. But go to WashingtonInformer.com. You can visit us there, WashingtonInformer.com. I do a little show on Fridays from 12 to noon. I call it my COVID baby, because we were concerned that we wouldn't be able to distribute papers with places closed and all that. So we started doing the newspaper online. So if anybody, I've talked to a couple stories in this room. And so I will be following up with some of you all that I've gotten information from, because, I want to see you in the Informer. So maybe that'll be incentive for you to go pick it up so that you can call me. But anyway, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. And I got to go. My husband bought tickets to go see The Woman King at 3:30.
Oh, you late.
And I got to run. So, but I wish I could stay longer. This has been wonderful. It's really been wonderful. And we're going to do it again.
Yes, ma'am.
In a bigger room.
Yes, ma'am.
With more people.
Yes, ma'am.
And Omar.
And Omar.
Look, by the way, we're going to do a real estate conference at Howard probably either November, December, January. Like part one going to be how to get into development, and part two going to be like all our financing partners, the Wells Fargos and all of the cities and everything like that. For finance, Fannie, Freddie, everybody will come out. And whenever we get it, we'll share with everybody. So thank you all so much.
One more round of applause. Please give it up for Omar and Denise. Thank you so much.